Oh, damn. Yo, we're live on everywhere on Famra and YouTube. Thank you to our sponsors at Famra for letting us do
Shout
this.
out Family.
And thanks, shout out Famra. And thank you very much, Phil, for putting this together too, man. Look at these graphics. They look great. This is
Yeah, we're
awesome.
back in the multiverse, aren't we?
Yeah, man. It's been a while, and I really love talking about, comics and movies and stuff. And you just watched the new Shang-Chi.
Yeah, finally, right? I mean, I guess I'm not
Yeah,
alone.
man.
A lot of people are probably doing that this weekend. I would think that now that it's out on Disney Plus, I don't know for different reasons, whether it be frugal or convenience stuff. But for me,
Safety.
safety, sure, the pandemic is still going on, but like for me, I could not get to the movie theater because we have a small child and I could get a babysitter, but it's just another layer. I used to go to the movies with these Marvel movies every single opening night. I was there. So it was difficult for me. This Shang-Chi was the first one I have not gone on opening night since. That's not true. I skipped over Black Widow as well.
Okay. Yeah, that was after the pandemic as well. Yeah, but did you see Black Widow eventually?
Yeah, well, they still were doing the same day.
Oh, the pay thing. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you did that. Okay.
Yeah, I was happy to do that because the price of two tickets and candy and all that. I just felt like, hey, if I can sit at home and watch this and the baby's asleep right there and I don't have to worry about it,
Yeah,
like,
no doubt. Yeah, I think we did that for God, it's been a while. I can't remember. We did it for a movie or two, and we're pretty excited to be able to have that feature. It's something one of those things where like you're like always wonder like is there a certain process that like takes Hollywood movies going from the theater to video a certain amount of time it has to be, but like no, it's just whenever they wanted to this whole entire time.
oh
They,
yeah.
they're like no, we can stream immediately if we want to, but we actually put out DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like 6 months to a year later on. Like okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they could do this the whole time immediately, so that's cool. But what did you think of Shang-Chi, man?
I'll be honest, like I kind of took this approach of like I'm not going to worry about spoilers, and so I thought I knew what to expect with Shang-Chi, but once I finally did get to watch it, I really didn't feel like I knew what was going to be in store on that movie. I really enjoyed it, I guess, to answer your question.
What were your expectations going in, man? Like, what did you think? Did you know anything about the character
I
prior?
mean, I've read enough Marvel comics, especially like recent Marvel comics, to know kind of the character's mythos, if you will. I had to do a little digging to know like where that character actually came from in the world of Marvel comics. But yeah, I guess my expectations were just simply like, oh, this is going to be like a martial arts movie. I thought it was going to be like heavily focused on fighting choreography, which it definitely did have a ton of that, without a doubt. But like there was so
Mhm.
much more to it than I was expecting. You have been kind of teasing the element to me of like the fantastical nature of it, and man, I feel like they really delivered. It was very very fascinating when they went to that village. What is it called? Like Fa Lo or something like that? I can't.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Some middle of nowhere village. That was pretty cool. I liked how the jungle is like a at a certain path, like a maze that
Yeah.
was available to you, and you had to do it sort of a certain time of day, and it's very like mummy vibes, with that. They had to find certain things at a certain time, and yeah, it was very fantastical, way more than I thought it would be. I want to say a shout out to our YouTube homie, 90 MFC.
What up?
A long time, man. Hope you're doing okay. He recently had a kid as well, maybe a year or two ago since we last talked, and that's awesome, man. Good to see you here in the chat.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm always so glad when we have other people in the mix with us because I'm just now getting introduced to a lot of your community, Jason. So it's always
Yeah, man.
exciting.
It's funny because like I've lived this secret like comic book life for a couple years, and it's like, yeah, you just made a bunch of comic book homies, and it's fun. I'd like to introduce my friends to other friends. It's a good time.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, for me with Shang-Chi, I really expected it to be like, like a Bruce Lee movie, like street level kind of fighting, or maybe like Jai Lee, like that like Ong Bak movies and stuff,
yeah,
just really really focused on martial arts, and but I guess if it was a TV show, I think it would have been more like that. How Daredevil was pretty street level. But this is like Marvel cinema universe, so it's like it's got to be big. They got the budget. They might as well go all out and do a fantastical world with dragons and like all these weird creatures that are like Pokemon. It's like why not? Because this is how it is in
I
Marvel.
could be
So
wrong, but I do
uh,
feel like there was a lot of basis for those creatures in, Chinese mythology, if you will.
there was
Very
it was yeah they are all
okay,
based in
good.
Chinese mythology, which is
When I
amazing.
was growing
Yeah,
up, my
that's
mom
so
had
very cool.
a lot of different Asian art. A lot of it was
Mine
really
too.
okay. I mean, and I hate
Yeah,
to just say Asian because when I really think about it, it's like some of it was Japanese, some of it was Chinese. I mean, and it's like as
yeah,
white people, it gets lumped together sometimes, and that's not what I
sure.
mean to do necessarily. But I guess my only point is
But it is Asian. It is
right,
general
right.
of all areas of
But
Asia.
I
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
recognize a lot of the character, not the character, a lot of the creatures, if you will. And I don't know. I thought it was really cool that they could put the Marvel budget to use in that way for like all these CGI creations of I don't know what these things are called even. They never gave them a name half the time.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it was really cool they went the extra effort. I think, they're really trying to nail down that Chinese market, because, it's Marvel's already popular in America. They got to get the Chinese market. And I think a lot of films have flopped over there, but like this one, hopefully, is like what other one can succeed if not
Well,
Shang-Chi? Recently in the comics, they changed Iron Fist I guess the next Iron Fist. The original one is Danny Rand. He's a white dude, and he's apparently coming up sometime soon. He's going to quit being Iron
oh,
Fist,
okay.
and so they're going to have like an Asian person take over the role, which is awesome. I feel like it should have been like that in the first
Right,
place,
right.
but things were different, I guess, back in
Oh,
the
yeah.
'70s or whatever, whenever he was created. So
Well, something I thought was interesting is that I think apparently the Shang-Chi movie didn't get shown in China. Did you know
really,
anything about that?
no, I did not.
Well, I guess there's some issues with the director has had some negative criticisms of the Chinese government or something along those lines,
Interesting.
and yeah, there's just like I think what I read was that Marvel has not had any box office releases in China this year because of like
Wow.
censorship from the Chinese government. So that's
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder what they would censor in this movie. I felt like they were playing it very safe, to play to the demographic
I
over
think
there.
it comes down to a lot of times if the people involved are objectionable, which I can't remember the director's name.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and pull up some
Hmm.
Shang-Chi factoids so I don't have to necessarily keep being like
What's the uh what's the Joe Rogan internet
Jamie
surgery guy?
Jamie, can you pull that up?
Jamie, can you look that up, Jamie? Jamie,
Well,
pull that
I'm
up,
just trying
Jamie.
to. I'll give a shout out to our homie Everett Everett Tucker that's been doing a lot of new streaming on Twitch and stuff, and like he's got everything
Oh,
pulled
cool.
up on the internet the whole time, and so I'm trying to take. This is weird. What? That's not the director. This is Destin Daniel Cretton. No, it's Chloe something. I thought that.
No, I think Chloe Zhao is for
Oh,
Eternals.
okay, interesting. My bad.
Mhm.
Okay, well then the article I read was also it was speaking about Black Widow, uh, Shang-Chi, and Eternals. So my bad. I have to redact my earlier statement. I think Eternals was not shown in China because of the
Right, because it had a sex
because of
scene
the sex scene
and a sex
and the
scene
gay
and a
kiss.
gay
That's what
kiss
I
as
heard.
well.
I don't know why
Right, right.
Shang-Chi. Here, let's see if we can find out some more about Shang-Chi China release.
Yeah, yeah. Some reason I feel like it did well over there. I don't know. I don't remember hearing anything. I just would
Okay, you're
assume.
correct. But it did get released, and this article from the New York Times says Shang-Chi wins a warm Asia greeting. Then there's China. Uh, okay. Well, I won't do the research live on the show, so I will redact most of what I said. I feel like I must have misinterpreted the article that I read. So, uh, I think you are correct. Shang-Chi would be the movie for China. I mean, just from a general
Yeah,
top-down
yeah.
viewpoint. Uh,
yeah, I mean, it was, historically like, a lot of homage, to their historical nature, of everything from the beginnings and legends and stuff like that,
Yeah.
mythology. And, they made those creatures and I thought they did a really good job of that. And it was nice, it was really cool to see that. For me, I was like, when I saw Eternals, I was like, how are they going to explain the mythology of
Mm.
Eternals? And I think we talked about this last time, and that's why I felt going into Black Panther because that's like a lot of like baggage going into how do you explain a character like this, and they did it in the first 2 minutes like perfectly with the narrator and all these visual graphics. But with Eternals, it was just like a Star Wars scroll, and of like 5 minutes of like words. I'm like, as soon as that happened, I'm like, no one's gonna like this movie. No one wants to read all this nonsense of like made up names and creatures and stuff. They don't know what's going on. Like, yeah, like you like lost the audience
Wow.
immediately. So I understand why it probably had bad ratings, but like, I still liked Eternals fine for what it was, but not my
Well,
favorite.
before I want to
I
talk
didn't
to you
hate it.
more about Eternals, just because I like to pick the homies' brains these days because I don't get to see the movies when they come out. But like before we move on, I did want to say like Shang-Chi, I really enjoyed the family
Yeah.
aspect of it. Really hit closer to home for me than I expected because I felt like the most redeeming aspect of Shang-Chi's story was his relation with his mother, how, his father was this 1,000-year-old, you know, crazy dictator guy that tried to give it up because his mom was going to show him another way. And then his mother died, tragically, and his dad went back to being a dick. And I just really, it hit close to home for me because I lost my mom when I was young, and I just was watching this, and relating to the character in that way, and how, I think they did a really good job of showing how parents can be in general, but also in the face of that kind of tragedy and how it affects your life growing up, and how, both of these kids. I was making a joke to my wife while we were watching it when I want to give a shout out to Aquafina for doing an amazing job. She was so funny to watch as Katie, but Katie just kind of is just rolling with the punches and going to this mystical place. She was valeting cars a week ago, and now she's in this village. Like, like this is just par for the course. But she's going to pick up the bow and arrow, and they let her train. They give her a hard time, and then his sister is watching them train, and his aunt Nan is like, "Oh well." We're all equal here. Like women can train the same as men. And I was like, well, the movie is still called Shang-Chi. It's not called Shang-Chi and Zoo. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I thought that was funny.
Hmm. Hmm.
But overall, the story, with that small little criticism in mind, I thought the story resonated emotionally a lot more than I thought it could. I thought this was just going to be like a very like beat 'em up, like especially with the first scene with the bus, like very typical, like
Oh
huge
yeah.
block. But
Did you recognize that blogger that was recording?
yeah,
Did you
I don't
recognize
know who he
it?
is, but I was immediately like, I think I know who. I've recognized this person. Who was it?
He was in Spider-Man Homecoming,
Uh,
and he was like, "Hey, Spider-Man, do a flip," and then that's he's like, "Yeah." Yeah, so
and he
same
brought him
same
back.
actor. I think it was amazing. They brought him back. Yeah, that was so cool. He's like a fan favorite, and I hope he returns. I think he's a stand-up comedian as
Uh,
well. I just never listened to his stuff, but yeah, that was a fun little guest spot again to see him. I hope he returns. I feel like he's kind of like that dude in Ant-Man that gives a narrator, yeah, kind of storytelling thing. That I forgot his name, the character's name, but another fan favorite. That's that's
well,
that's fun to see recurring
also
characters like
speaking of
that.
reoccurring characters, I thought what they did with Slatterly, the Mandarin, what is his Ben Kingsley, God, that
Hmm.
was really that was not something I expected at all, and I thought it was so funny that when he first was in the room, uh, when you're hearing these noises from around the corner in this room they're locked up in, and I'm thinking like, oh, what is this going to be, like Shang-Chi's grandfather or something? Like his dad's locked the whole family down there, and they come around, and it's Ben Kingsley is Slatterly, and I'm like, that is so funny they would put him in the movie. But then I never thought he would have like a persistent role. Uh,
Yeah, he became kind of a tag along character at that point. He's like there for the
He
rest of
did
the
such a
movie.
good job, and he was so funny. And I just think it's wild that wasn't spoiled for me at all. Like, having waited months to see the movie, I never saw any memes of him. I never saw any, um, you know, clips or anything. And it was pretty funny to have him as like the mouthpiece for the mythical Morris pet creature, whatever that was. I don't.
Yeah, I like when Morris showed up and he's like, "Oh, good, you can see him too." Like he thought he was going crazy in prison, seeing this like
Yeah.
creature with like no face. Yeah, that's
it
hilarious.
was it was it was perfect. I mean, a very easily pegged to Marvel's comic relief type situation, but I don't know. I thought I got a kick out of it the whole time. Like, Aquafina and Ben Kingsley both provided so much humor for me. And then
Mhm.
just having the emotional resonance of the whole family story was pretty amazing. And then, of course, you get to the end of it, and it's just this amazing, huge set piece with the dragons and the soul suckers and all that. And at the end of it, I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And let's see, my stream looks like it might be straggling here. Let me see if we can pause for a moment in our
Sure, man.
conversation till it picks
Hmm.
back up. Yeah, there we go. We're back in the green now.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, it's funny how I was gonna say Aquafina's character. Some people had a gripe where she was like the one that did like the death blow of the arrow, like the one shot to get the dragon in the throat after like barely any training. But then again, it's like you can tell she had potential and she just needed to focus on something
yeah,
finally, and yeah, she only just wanted to drive cars and that's cool and be in ballet, which is just fine, and they're totally fine with doing that, which is great. But I guess when she finally got a different direction and she was okay with doing that too, she excelled at it apparently, and is really good with that. So that's cool that they're bringing her as a kind of a sidekick, homie character to Shang-Chi. We're going to see her in the future. I think she did a good job. And I thought it was funny how there was like when the Soul Suckers came along, the bad guys had like their own little crew. They're like little army with them, like guys in black armor or
yeah.
whatever. And then one dude guy's like, got his soul sucked out, and the other guy, he had like his name on the truck or whatever.
Razor
I
fist.
forget what. Ray, thank you, Razor Fist, because it was very like Taser
Yeah.
Face vibes, which I love that. I love those like silly names. I hope they meet sometime in the future in the MCU. I guess Taser Face is dead now, so never mind. But
I
yeah.
was we were laughing about Razor Fist for so many reasons, because it just feels like you feel like, for how much work had to go into this movie, that there's no way these people couldn't have kind of accepted this as like a tongue-in-cheek type of a character, right? Like, I mean, you can't really take him seriously. Like, there were so many things, like with the sword arm, right? Like, it comes out of his weird little, the attachment on what's left of his arm. But it's like, there's no way. Like, where does that sword live before it comes out of his fucking arm, right? Like, it would be all the way up, like past it. And I looked at it later on after I thought that, and I'm like, there's not even room in this dude's arm. Like, if this is like a Mega Man situation, like the sword will not fit up there. Like, maybe if it was a lightsaber or something, I could believe it easier. But like a full metal implement coming out, like, it just doesn't work. Uh, but also,
Super
I don't know
silly.
why I just had this like total tangent where I was thinking about like if you were offered the role of Razor Fist. And I was just imagining, like, I really want to do a sketch maybe for like TikTok or something, where I'll be like, okay, hi, my name's Phil. I'm going to be reading for the role of Razor Fist today. And then, like, just kind of like pantomiming the fucking sword the whole time. Like, just, sir, could you just read the lines? And I'm like, oh, oh, oh.
I'd probably be like every now and then, just shaving constantly
Yeah.
somewhere.
So Razor Fist was kind of a hard sell for me, but it did, especially with the truck. Like, he had this BMW with his name on the side, and then like custom fitted like teeth or something on the front. I don't know what that was about.
Hilarious. Yeah, he's all about custom cars, man.
I don't know. Like,
Hilarious. He's a car guy. There's horse girls,
do
there's car
you
guys.
like? Is this like the American military type situation when you get recruited to the 10 Rings? Do you get like a sign on bonus to get, like, like you?
Yeah, yeah. Instead of paying for like his education or whatever, he just has like, this money to spend on whatever he wants for a good bit. He's taken care of.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Now what did you think about Yeah, I was kind of sad to see I guess we'll talk about spoilers. I'm sure most people have seen Shang-Chi, but if not, spoilers ahead. How'd you feel about the father passing away there at the end?
I guess it seemed inevitable. Like if you have a character who from the beginning is 1,000 years old, right? Like it just kind of feels like they're gonna die in this movie. I don't know. I'm curious. What is your like? I feel like maybe you had an angle there with that question. Do you feel like that was unjust that he died or something? Or
No, I think it kind of sucks that like I feel like he wasn't quite a bad guy. Yes, he did some bad things, like most of his life, I'm assuming. But like towards the end, he just wanted his wife back, and he just heard this voice from beyond and just wanted to find his wife and thought it was his wife, but it was this like voices inside the gate that get
right,
inside your head. So it's not really his fault. It's like he was really convinced it was his wife reaching out for him, from the beyond, and he had a chance to get her back. So he's going to do anything he can in his power to get her back. I mean, when you're like enabled all these powers of like everlasting life and these rings that do everything, yeah, it's not that far fetched to think, oh, my wife could be alive behind this gate.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, different things could have, worse things could have been unimaginable, but so it's like, yeah, I don't blame him. I think he was very justified in trying to do what he can to get his wife back, but he didn't know, I guess, apparently that, those voices behind there did that to people or whoever.
Well, that was something Lee and I were
But
laughing about a lot. Is like, oh well, if this guy's been around for like 1,000 years, like why wouldn't he necessarily know better? Like, why wouldn't he be able to understand that maybe there is somebody tricking him? Like, if he saw his own wife
mm,
die and he knew why, because he went and killed the Iron Gang or whatever that did
right.
it. I mean, why would he think that they're? Why would he think that his family is keeping it? Why wouldn't he? I guess what was really funny though is I think Lee said something along the lines of like, oh, why wouldn't he know better? I guess he's just old. And I was like, wow, I feel like that's something we say a lot these days about people in our society, like,
Or leaders that are like, why do they do these things? They're just old.
yeah,
They don't
we're
know any
like,
better.
why are our parents, why are all the boomer generation like falling for, ivermectin and shit like that? Well, I guess if a 1,000-year-old man can fall for, a demon's whispers from the other side of the door.
I guess, I feel like the trailer ruined a lot of things where it's like, it showed the ending pretty much of like him against his dad, of like they both had
Yeah,
rings. It was like the same power against the same power. Same thing with Black Panther. You have a Black Panther against a
right,
Black
right.
Panther. I think in Iron Man, you had an Iron Man against an Iron Man. It's just like kind of the same thing over and over. It's like your clone fighting yourself.
Always
It's
with
like,
Marvel.
so yeah, always. So that kind of sucked, but like, uh, I don't know. So I don't know. Now that we have the new Spider-Man trailer that's supposed to drop on
Is it
Tuesday,
Tuesday? Okay.
but I think it's like John said, they have a ticket screening for some reason to see a trailer in a theater or
And it's
something
like a
on
red
Tuesday.
carpet event.
But right, and I'm like, I expect it to release very soon after to the public on TV and everywhere, like at the
It'll
next
get
day or
leaked
the
for
day after,
somebody's gonna have
like
their
next
phone
week.
out at that event. Like,
Right. But to go back to I guess what I was thinking, I was like, man, I want to, because when I saw the Shang-Chi trailer, the second one, it like showed so much, and it showed the end of the movie and stuff, and you kind of get things filled in of how the movie will probably play out, and I kind of want to avoid that for
oh,
Spider-Man, because I've been looking forward to this for so long, and I'm not like I'm hyped, but I'm not like super hyped. Like I am super hyped for the next Batman movie. Like I am super
okay.
hyped, and so like I'm not gonna any more trailers of that. I'm going to avoid everything I can about that.
What can I ask?
But we know,
What makes you so hyped for the next Batman movie? What is it?
it's like a combination of Batman Year One and Year
Mm,
Two, and I think of a lot of other stuff. I think too, but I think it's just this. It's a young Batman who's like kind of figuring it out. He's super mad and angry because he's like I feel like fresh into it. So he's making mistakes along the way, and he's just way more aggressive than he should be. He's like kind of not holding back his punches, and I think he'll learn that in time. But this is like kind of a really aggressive Batman. I don't think we've ever seen
mm.
before. Uh, and and then yeah, I mean, there's so much to be excited for too. I guess I like the thing of like the Riddler being in there, being done different, like a seven kind of serial
Who's the
killer
Riddler?
puzzle. Um, that dude who was in Uh, No Country for Old
Oh
Men, I
wow,
think.
what? Hold on. Let
Uh,
me look this up. Jamie.
I forgot the dude's name.
Let's see if we can find the
So,
cast for this. The Batman's version of the Riddler.
I want to say Paul Dino, I think is his name, I think.
Oh, okay. This is 2022, you would say?
Mhm. Yeah, it comes out in I think February, I think, or
Okay,
March.
Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano. There he
Mhm.
is.
That's him, Paul Dano.
Interesting. I do recognize him. I can't remember what all he's in.
He, he reminds me of like the guy from uh oh, hold on, I'm trying to think of this like early '90s movie. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, where he's like, the dishes are
Uh,
done, man. He reminds me of that guy, but he's not that
wow,
guy.
I love the cast. I'm
uh,
seeing like how many, like John Turturro is
mhm,
Carmine Falcone, which is interesting. I knew about Colin Farrell as the Penguin. I just
mhm.
kind of recently, since the latest trailer drop, realized that Zoe Kravitz was going to be in it as Catwoman, and then Andy's.
She looks fantastic. She nails
Yeah,
that look. She looks.
I mean, this movie is packed full of villains. I mean, what do you think is going to happen here? Do you think this is going to be like cameos of all these villains, or do you think he's going to have to go up against all of them? I don't understand how this would work.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some reason I feel like it's going to start off with like him, uh, I guess, helping the police track down Penguin and then stopping
Okay.
Penguin and then like, kind of being on their side. And then maybe they make the bat signal to help him out. And then there's like, Riddler things start happening that's kind of tied to his family, I think, somehow. Like maybe his father's legacy are tied to like some other things of bad things happening in the city. Maybe like his family or people his dad was involved with, like were stealing money with the politicians or something that like are maybe taking money away from like you know people who should get it, like maybe poorer people instead, like rich people are getting it. This is just my own personal little John moment, theories, John theories.
John's rants.
Yeah, John's rants. That's just my personal theory where I feel like somewhere it's going to affect him as Bruce Wayne and Batman, and so then I think something's going to happen where like the police are going to turn on Batman and hunt him down. Uh, or maybe he gets mistaken in a wrong place, wrong time, and looks like he did something that he didn't do or something.
Do you think
So
that
that's
this
kind of where I see the
Batman
movie.
movie will be, like another trilogy or a universe, or is it
They swore up and down this is going to be the only one. Robert Pattinson's like, I only want to do
uh
one. But when you're like, this is going to be, I think it's going to be the most successful Batman movie we've seen in a
hmm.
very long time. And I think like because of that, they're going to give him like a dump truck full of money to do a sequel, and he's not going to be able to say no because it's just be stupid not to say no to so much money. I guarantee it's going to be a start of a new trilogy. I think so, but like they say no, it's not. But I mean, he could be like, I have enough money, I'm good. But I think when you're offered a dump truck full of money to do a sequel, you can't say
I
no.
would.
So
It's
that
yet
that's
to be seen. I do think that this is going to be interesting for our first insult Batman. I think that, that's something that we have not seen. Did you see the tweets between
I did. I almost
Sorry.
choked there. Yeah.
I brought this up on the suck, but I feel like this is appropriate for our show as well, where someone tweeted at Matt Reeves and asked, like basically it was just like, I just really admire this Batman, and I think it's so cool that he puts off his romantic relationships to fight crime. And Matt, could you please tell us, is this Batman a virgin? And Matt's actual reply was like, yes, he is a virgin. Just putting it out there for the ladies, which is also super weird. Like, why are what
Uh-huh.
you're trying to like confirm this rumor, but you're also gonna say like for the ladies, like what are you trying to? It seems like you're trying to derail
Yeah.
this Batman, right? I mean,
Well, male virgins' penises are tighter, apparently. So.
but yeah, I wonder if Robert Pattinson was as stinky and bad breathed on this set as
Yeah, that's the rumor, dude. Rumor has it Robert Pattinson's like a super smelly dude.
pretty, yeah,
Apparently, he has like he has bad
well
hygiene. It
confirmed.
was funny. My wife and I about that today or yesterday. We're like, yeah, story on the block is like Robert Pattinson's really smelly dude, and I think Jake Gyllenhaal also is
Oh,
apparently really
really?
smelly as well. I think.
Is
I
this part of
think
that
if I'm
whole
not
trend that was going around where celebrities revealing like they just don't shower and stuff? Because that seems like what it is.
maybe, but like it's like recorroborated with people on the
Mm-hmm.
set. We're like, yeah, this dude stinks.
Yeah.
It's like I guess apparently Christopher Walken has terrible breath
Oh,
all the
wow.
time, no matter
Gross.
what. That's yeah,
Give him a piece of gum or
you
something.
know,
I mean, I will
right?
say I
Some
was actually
Tonka.
thinking about this earlier today, and I can relate to the aspect of not taking a shower because as a parent,
You're so
you
busy.
get so busy,
Yeah,
you're just like, I didn't get to do it. I had to make a choice. Am I going to work today or am I going to take a shower? And that
yeah,
was a
back
choice you made.
burner. Yeah.
And I feel like I could see that in a, Hollywood, I shouldn't say Hollywood, but just film uh creation environment, you could definitely get super busy. But the bad breath thing, man, I can't relate on that one at all. Like
Yeah,
when I
man.
wake up,
Yeah.
the bad breath is hitting. I can feel it in my own mouth, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. Not like if I have somebody coming over to do, some kind. If I had somebody, the exterminator coming over to spray my, which I don't have an exterminator, but I just thought that was a good example. But like, yeah, I would have to brush my teeth first, man. Like I can't handle that shit. Like I don't understand how people can be out in public with bad breath, man. This is like a chronic bad breath. You gotta.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if it's like a lack of self-awareness or just like not caring because you're a millionaire actor, it's like fuck it, like who cares? Like I got to do my job, you do yours. You got to act anyways, pretend I don't have bad
Oh
breath.
damn! Can you act like my breath
That's
is
that's
good
hard.
right
It's
now?
cool. Right? You're really testing acting
I need you to
abilities. It's
act
like
like my breath is delicious and minty right now. Why can't you do that?
yeah, I do a kiss scene. I
Oh
haven't brushed
God.
in 2 weeks. Christopher Walken.
So I don't know. I don't have much else to say about the Batman because honestly, I feel like I've kind of burnt out on Batman. I feel like Batman was the original, superhero movie, which is not true because Superman was
Yeah,
out
yeah,
before
right.
Batman was. But I feel like
Sure,
Batman
sure.
was really the movie with Michael Keaton and Tim Burton that just
Hmm.
like just really just kickstarted the whole trend. And
How do you feel about Michael Keaton's comeback, man? He's going to be in Morbius, the new Spider-Man,
you calling
apparently,
it
and he's going to be in the
I
Flash
wouldn't
movie.
call it a
You know,
comeback. I
he's,
mean, what? So okay, wait a second. He's gonna be in the Flash movie, so that's different from, he's in the Spider Man. Like he's been kind of teased as the
he's in
Vulture.
DC and Marvel. Crazy.
I want to watch that new opioid movie he did. I'm trying to remember what that's called. Have you heard about
Oh,
that?
the one where he opened up a McDonald's.
Is
Yeah.
that really what that is?
No, he was in a movie. I think he won an award for that movie where he opened up a McDonald's. I forgot what the hell it's called, but it's like the founder of McDonald's and how it became a big franchise and a winning story. But yeah, he played the main
Oh
role
well,
in that.
there's a movie on Hulu called Dope Sick, and it's about the opioid
Oh shit, yeah.
epidemic, and I want to watch that. Uh, and that made me think more of like a comeback as an actor. But like, I don't feel like he really ever went anywhere. I just feel like he didn't have to do anything. And the fact that he was the
Mhm.
Vulture, I mean, for me, that's why that was such a big deal. Was because I'm like, why is Michael Keaton doing this movie? Like why he doesn't have to do it, and it made it so much fun. I would say, the Spider-Man movies, I'm gonna withhold like a full judgment until this next one comes out, but like they've soured on me a little bit, and maybe I would love to hear
Okay.
your response because I know you just got through watching like all of them with your wife to
Yeah,
prepare.
all of
So
them.
like when I've
Yeah,
gone back
yeah.
and watched, Homecoming, and then what's the second one I've called? I can't remember.
Far
Far
from
from
home.
home. Thank you. I was trying to get it mixed up. Here, I'll just for the viewers, I'll bring this up. I got Doctor Strange or Cape on Spider Man
Oh,
today.
that's
I just got
awesome.
this one. But
Okay,
yeah, I
okay.
mean, I don't know. I feel like I didn't. I don't know. I don't like them as much as I go back and watch them, and maybe that's just like a symptom of all Marvel movies. Is like they're really good and exciting when they're first coming out, and they don't age as well because it's like
Sure, sure.
it was a thing, a product of its time. It was like very exciting to see, oh, this movie's come out and oh, they did this big exciting thing to make it feel
Hmm.
that way.
Hmm.
But like, oh, well, time has passed and that's
Sure.
not exciting. And the movie itself is, it's okay. Like, would you disagree?
For me, I still really like Winter Soldier a lot. And I really like um shoot, after all the Spider-Man movies, I watched all of them like in the past 2 days. I do really like the last like I really like Far From Home
Okay.
a lot. And Homecoming was really good too in its own way. But I think those are my favorite like versions of Spider-Man in the film. But I'm trying to think what else. I really like Black Panther a lot. I think that one holds up no matter what. And that's a you know I guess a divisive thing. Some people really hate that movie. I
Really?
really love Black
Wow.
Panther. It's probably like my one of my favorites. I think my favorite is Winter Soldier and then Black Panther. Um, right behind it. Just when you take into mind all the baggage of the character and how to explain it to a general audience that doesn't know anything about that character, they did a fantastic job of with that and pacing and cinematography. And yes, you have the same like at the end cartoon fight of a Black Panther against a Black Panther. That it kind of sucks, but for the most part, I think they did a good job. And then I guess trying to think what my I guess Thor Ragnarok really grew on me. When I first saw Thor Ragnarok, I hated it. Um, like I was so
Really?
mad when I
Wow.
saw it in the theater. Like, yeah, I really wanted to see Thor be like a mature Thor,
Mm.
and he's like finally came into his own. He's strong, but instead of like a good proper serious like King strong Thor, you have a really goofy silly movie done by Taika Waititi. And I hated it when I first saw it. It was like
Ah,
the worst movie I ever saw. Like I was so mad at it.
I did not
And
expect
then
that.
after seeing it, like I think I saw it like 5 or 6 times because my wife
That's
liked
a
it so
good
much.
movie. I like it a
And
lot, personally.
yeah, and now I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun, and I think Chris Hemsworth did a great job. He's a good comedy actor, and and I guess I kind of felt the same way with the comics. After Jason Aaron's run, he made Thor. He became King Thor, and uh, and then afterwards, Donny Cates took over, and it was like a new writer, new number one issue of Thor, and it was like, okay, so what's he going to do with Thor now that he's like king finally? And of course, he made him like not want to be king, and he's like failing and all this. I'm like, man, come on, like he should have been like strong and like good. I was so mad like at the first like couple issues of like Donny Cates Thor because I wanted to see him be like proper King Thor, be inspirational and strong and like almost like a Batman or Spider Man where it just gives like the reader hope or like inspiration, but it's like. Uh, he just crushed him further and made him like not want to be king. But so I was kind of mad at that run for a bit, and then it got better and became really good. An idea a couple years ago was like, I wish they'd bring back Donald Blake, which was this character. It was like this. It's like Thor when he didn't want to be Thor. He like hit like his like hammer down and it became the staff, and he became
Ah.
a human version of this guy called Donald Blake. It was like his human persona, and it just like disappeared like one day I think in the Marvel stories. Like they made him go away, and so now apparently this Donald Blake character is like this stuck in a different dimension, and he like went insane there, and he came back, and Donna Cates brought him back. So I feel like he might have saw my review back in the day and took my idea, but uh,
Wow.
but it was cool to see him be super powered, and they brought back Donald Blake. Now it's cool to see. People were like, "What? They brought back Donald Blake?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. I said that so many years ago." But yeah. So, anyways, it's cool. I mean, it's funny how some things grow on you that you don't expect. Especially some like the Thor Ragnarok. I hated it, and I really liked it at the end. So you never know. Some of these, you're right. They're not good rewatching, but some of them do hold up in my opinion. Once again, Winter Soldier is still my favorite. But I feel like Falcon and the Winter Soldier was kind of a good follow up to that, but I didn't like that as much. I feel like that
Mm.
doesn't hold up to me. I have no desire to rewatch that show. I don't know. Maybe I would rewatch WandaVision because I had a lot of fun watching it one time. I think I might have watched it a second time with my wife. I think we enjoyed it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We watched it twice. And then I don't know. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of like open ending things too with the Marvel universe. Do you think they have a direction of where they're going with stuff, or do you think their new thing is just to like leave a lot of open endedness and then figure out what the audience like and then tailor to that?
That's a great question, and it's actually kind of a great supposition, if you will, because I feel like they definitely did. Like, if you ask me that same question, like, a couple of years ago, I would say absolutely they definitely have an idea. I feel like that's been like kind of the mastery of what Kevin Feige has brought to that whole side of the film industry. Is he had a plan, he got everybody on board, he made it happen, and it was amazing to watch as an audience member. And it seems like a lot of the people that were involved also had that same experience, but not everyone. And I think that's really, I say that because I think that's really what leads into what's happening now, is that you're seeing a lot of these contract situations change and break down, and you're seeing like
Mm-hmm.
the rhetoric around it change, which is, I just read an article last week about how Marvel is going to stop doing these multi-contract deals anymore, and what they want to do is so they're changing that whole design, which probably makes sense because
Movie by movie basis.
right, and but more than that, what I was reading is, and I'll have another point I want to lead into this, and I'm just saying that now because I just watched the assembled documentary on Loki last night, which was really fun. But I want to circle back to that because it's relevant how they talk about working with their actors and their creatives about they don't want to do this just as a sign off for 9 films because of this is what we want to do. They want to make it more open for people that if they're passionate about a project and they want to keep working on it, then they figure that out from film to film or property to property, which is probably a good idea at this point because it seems
Yeah,
to me
yeah.
like they got so much up in the air, so many plates to spin, so much money, so many different projects going on. And the
I heard
reason,
Harry Styles from the new Eternals movie, as Star Fox. I heard he got signed to a 4 contract deal.
really
So apparently he's going to appear in 4 different movies from here on.
nice.
And it's like speculative, like what's it going to be? It's going to be, the next Thor: Love and Thunder. Is
Mm.
it going to be, there's a lot of possibilities what it's going to be, and it's going to be, Eternals 2 if they decide to make one. Like what's the aim? What are they going for? What are they doing?
Well, I do like that they always plant these seeds, and I also like how they're not gonna like ascribe to a an unerring path anymore because I feel like the
Hmm.
Marvel universe until it's like gets a hard reboot, which honestly I think that'll be a sad day to see after all that they've done when they're finally going to just say, well, I'm sure they'll find some narrative reason to do it, but once it's done it'll be like, wow, okay, well, all that work, everything you put into making all that stuff connect is now over. They're kind of like
Hmm.
soft rebooting it right now. I feel like with the multiverse thing, I feel like there's a lot of room to let, with the rights of Sony with Spider-Man and all that. It's just like a lot of room to let things kind of fall where they may. Um, but one thing I liked when I don't know if you've watched any of these documentaries behind the scenes with I watched the one after WandaVision because I felt like that was the one they promoted. This I think it's called Unassembled or something like.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, on Disney Plus.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
I
Mhm.
really enjoyed the WandaVision, and I didn't realize they did anymore until I saw one for Loki advertised, and I went to go look that up, and there was like all these. I mean, they have them for like everything they've made in the last like year or two, and I was blown away because I got to go back and watch all those. But it inspired me to see how much Tom Hiddleston has taken on to make Loki a thing in the MCU. Like I didn't realize like how much he's really pushed it forward just as like a performer. It was weird to me because like if you have you seen that one?
I think I did. Yeah, yeah. It's been a
So
while. I think I saw like when the show came out because usually when the show finishes, they release that episode like the week after, a couple of days
right,
after.
okay. So yeah, I mean, and then if you've seen it, you just know like how like he's very centered in that. Like it's not just a documentary about the Loki series; it's a documentary about Loki as a character in it and how Tom, he he auditioned for Thor, which is so funny to
Yeah.
see. Like but then like he takes it very seriously, like being Loki, like from the very first film and on, and they talk about how little screen time he actually has. Like he's only got like a couple hours altogether through all the movies put together, and then they go on and get to give him this Loki series. And I just thought that was really different because I think even in just watching that documentary, I don't want to take away anything from Owen Wilson. I think he did a great job in his role for that series. It's really fun to watch, but you can also tell he's kind of like semi detached from the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like you can kind of tell that he's like, yeah, I'm here to do a job, and he's probably going to keep doing it again for a season 2, and he's done a great
Yeah,
job. But he's also not like, doesn't seem like he's drinking the Kool-Aid. Like most of his
sure.
testimonials, you can kind of feel like he's across the room, like watching everyone drink the Kool-Aid. Like, yeah, I'm Owen Wilson. This is not my world, but I'm here. But like Tom, it seems like it was very impressive to see how much and how dedicated he was to developing the character
Yes,
and the
yes.
series and the canon for it. And I feel like, I guess that's my point with all this, is like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna change these contract deals. It's like, oh, if people are interested, then we keep them going. Which
Mm.
you brought up, Harry Styles doing four movie contract. That's a lot of movies.
It's a
So
lot, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. That'd be kind of cool if they test how much the actor is into it or not. Like with Tom Hiddleston, you're right. He was really into it from the get-go. Um, when they had their like Disney Plus celebration convention, their like yearly one. I guess they had him out on stage, and he did a whole Loki performance live on stage, and he was like, "Yo!" He turned off the lights, and it was him standing there. When they came back on, he's like, "Say my name." People were like, "Yeah, Loki," and he just is an actor. He just went all out, and people love him for it, and that's great. I mean, it's a perfect role for him. It's the best thing he's ever done, and I think it's the best thing that's been done for him. It's he is Loki, and that's his life now. It's like being a James Bond, and people know you're a James Bond when they see you on the street. Oh, it's Loki. Uh, so it's one of those things you can't escape. It's like you're a Star Trek cast member. You're like, oh, you're this character. It's like it's like you can't get away from it.
yeah,
Once you take that role,
I
and
feel like
he just embraces it.
I think he kind of one upped it though, because like I think what was done with the Loki series, I don't think I've witnessed many properties that took a character to that extreme. Like I just watching that documentary made me kind of bounce back to when that was coming out live, and how exciting it was to see so many weird things coming on the screen. Like crocodile Lokis and
Croaky.
yeah, Croaky, and they even snuck in the frog Thor in there, and like I
Yes, that
just
was
feel like
amazing. Apparently,
uh
there's a deleted scene with Throg and there. Yeah, I,
oh
I guess
wow.
apparently, like I forgot what happened, or I think you see like a Thor turned into a Throg. I don't know. I forgot what the deleted scene was, but is that
I just wanted to show you all this chicken,
well, chicken?
but he's wearing a Star Lord T'Challa's hairpiece right now.
That's fantastic.
I did get today, actually, I got the Star Lord T'Challa Lego piece, which
Oh, that's
is
sick.
very exciting.
Where did you get that from?
They have these like little packs here. Let me grab one. I'll show
Was
you.
it marketed as Star-Lord T'Challa?
No, well, yes and no. So like Lego does these series of minifigures that are like
Oh, wow.
unique. Each series is a unique theme. They've done Simpsons. They've done DC.
Mhm.
Sometimes they just do a collection of different ideas. But yeah, this one is basically. So this is limited edition series 12, and it's all different what if and Disney Plus properties.
That's
So
great.
you got like Zombie Captain America.
Is
You
that a
got
Throg in the bottom right?
it is, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
I really want that one. If you get apparently if you get the Loki from the Loki series, it comes with the Throg, which I guess my green screen is like kind of
I
for
see him.
the you can see him, but the viewers it's getting
Oh,
like
yeah, I see now. Yeah, that Throg is not there on the
yeah.
screen. That's so
But
funny.
I do have this little froggy character that's just, I'm gonna hold it up to show you guys how that's working with my. I turned on a filter. I don't know really if it was necessary, but I wasn't loving my background. It didn't look great. I guess I could turn it off for the one person watching. Like, this is what it really looks like back here. Oh, green screen. It's
Yeah,
not
man.
terrible.
Yeah, green screen looks fine. Looks kind of professional. I like it.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
It's,
man.
I didn't realize it's framed up better than I thought it was, so that
It
feels
does.
good.
It looks good, man. It's a good setup. Are you in your basement or like
Yes, I'm finally back in the studio this week, man.
sick?
This is a huge deal. So, I mean, the fact that we're streaming like this right now, I wouldn't have proposed it if I couldn't get back in the studio. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
man. Are you excited to be back in there?
oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I
It's where
can't
the
find
music
words.
happens.
Yeah, it's where everything happens. There's so
You
many
got your
things.
keyboard and stuff next to you. You got all your musical tools, and
I got a keyboard right here in front of me. I got keyboards over there. But yeah, I mean, I have everything I need to do streams, and I haven't had it for like 3 months now. So
that's dope.
it feels really good.
I know we're coming to an hour. Do you want to play us off with this a little song or make a beat at the end here?
Interesting proposition.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm sorry. It's like it's further on you. I know you got to do a lot of setup or whatever things, but
Let me
you know.
see. I think I could do this. Just bear with,
All right,
keep talking with me for a
cool.
second,
Yeah, yeah.
and let's see
I
if we
want
can.
my comic friends to know that you're a very talented individual. You're a great musician, and you're more than just a Marvel buff or comic head or whatever. And you got layers.
That's
So
very kind of you.
yeah.
I appreciate that, and I don't want your comic book friends to expect too much at this point, like because we don't know what's gonna come out of this. But I'm loading up my musical program here, and
Cool.
let's see if this works real quick.
Yeah, you're the AV guy, man. You made this happen. You had this really cool OBS display here. It looks great, man.
All
You did a
right,
lot.
I think it works. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna change the view real quick for people.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the audio working. Let's see if we can get the video part working.
Cool.
Uh, to change this camera right here. Okay, that'll work. And so you can keep talking to me while we do this.
Cool, man. Yeah.
Let's see. We'll get a short loop going. What should we make it about? Should we make it about Frog Thor or something like that?
Yeah, man. We could do Throg. Frog
Okay.
Thor. He does it froggy style. He drops that hammer.
Does it froggy style?
He drops that hammer froggy style. He just wants to make some tadpoles. Maybe I don't know, man. You got the auto tune high pitch. Singing.
Yes,
You got it.
we can do that.
I do
All right,
want to
let's
grab
get a beat
one
going
beer
real quick.
before we get. Yeah, let me get a beer real quick.
All right. We got a beat going now. I hope everybody can still hear me. Jason went to go get a beer. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's see if we can keep this going. Nobody's watching. Okay, that's cool. Takes the pressure off of me.
I was looking for my bottle opener, and I have one right here. Oh, where did I leave my beer? Oh. There we
Don't
go.
you love when that happens?
I was like, where'd it go? Oh, I took it to the table. All right. Is there a way I can change the Famera teleportation to the DJ place, or is that a admin thing only?
It might be, yeah. Let me see. Teleport to final room. And then I'll have to turn
There
my
you go.
speakers on so
Nice.
people can hear it.
That's awesome.
Hopefully that won't pick up too. We got a lot going on here right now. This is great. And I don't think you can hear my music, right? I mean,
I can kind of hear it. Yeah.
okay.
Is
I can
it
do
the
something.
speaker of your computer?
Yeah, I can also, let me try to change this audio setting. This will be weird, but let's try it.
Yeah. There you go.
So you might
That's
not be
it.
able to hear me talking anymore.
Your voice though is now gone.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't. Yeah. Well, let's see. I can do one of test 1 2.
There you go.
Test
I hear
1
you now.
2.
There you go.
All right, let's see. We got some We got Falcon. The viewers out there, we got Captain Carter.
Oh, down. Oh, yeah, there you go. That one. Yeah.
And we got Gamora.
Yeah,
Thanos
that's awesome.
Killer. And here's a frog. We're going to talk about Throg.
Throg. Yeah, so the song's about Throg.
Alright, so let's get this in the right key. C minor, natural minor. Ooh! Ooh! Yeah, I got the hammer, looking like a frog, y'all. Yeah, I got the hammer. Yeah, I'm worthy. Oh, this lily pad, y'all. We need a little more rhythm backing. Let's
That's great.
See if we can get some more rhythm backing. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Ooh, yeah, I'm worthy. I'm a lily pad, y'all. Got the hammer. Ooh, yeah, you know I'm worthy. 'Cause I got the hammer. I'm a lily pad, y'all. All right.
Rock song. Let me see that Throg.
That's good.
I'm a lily pad hammer. Ooh.
All right, I think that might be all. That might be all I have for tonight.
I'm a lily pad hammer.
All right, my friend. I think that might be all I can pull out of my
That's cool,
back
man.
pocket
I like
for
it.
tonight.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up. Dude, thank you so much for hanging out, bro. That's amazing. Great little loop there. Got that Throg worth the song. He dropping that hand. He's making them tadpoles. I guess we'll sign off, man. Yo, where can people find you, man? You know, what's happening with you coming up next?
I would say please just check out the Suck podcast. thesuck.me, thesuck.me. That's probably the most I got going for right now. And yeah, always look for us on Famera. Let's see.
I put the Success podcast.
Yeah, you know
The Success
I'm
podcast. Yeah, I'm juggling a lot of different AV stuff here, but yeah, I hope people enjoyed it if they tuned in. Let's try to keep doing this. Let's try to keep this.
Change your mic.
Let's see. Change my mic. You're right.
Still can't hear you.
There we go. You can probably hear me.
There you
now.
go. Got you now.
Yeah, I got like 3 different audio video setups. So if you go back and watch the YouTube, I think you will hear me the whole time. In fact, you probably hear me too much some of the time. Wow, this is crazy, bro. The same as always on Famera.
On Famera, you got
video
the spiral.
It just spiraled out like right at
your video spiraled out on me. Am I spiraled out on your side?
Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
See, it's every time after an hour, it like shits the bed for some reason. That's interesting. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and quit Famera.
Yeah, I'll take a screenshot of mine as well. You know, I'll exit out of there as well. Leave.
Right, peace out, Famera.
Peace out, Famera.
All right, well, yeah.
Later.
I like this setup, man. This is good. I mean, if we're gonna keep doing shows together on Famera, we should just,
This is the way to do it, man.
Yeah,
you know, we got the audio, video, we got Famera, we got Skype, YouTube over here. We got 2 people watching now. What's up, y'all?
We can keep talking. We can keep chatting.
Yeah, man, I'm cool. You know, if 2 people watching, you guys, if you want to hit us up in the chat, comment. Let us know who you are.
Yeah,
because I'm probably friends with you. So and it'd be fun to chat with you and see what you guys think about anything. But yeah, man, dude, that was a great lead-off song. The Suck podcast, dude. The Suck podcast is going you guys recording every Friday, Thursday?
It's actually every Thursday, yeah. And sometimes we do 2 episodes in one night, and
Do you want to tell the audience about what the Suck podcast is about? Who you have on board? What
Whew.
with the crew on board? What the theme of it is?
Yeah, it's hard to sum up in so many words, but basically, the Suck podcast is, in the world of people that are kind of like deeply inundated with shit posting, like I say, it's hard to sum it up, but like,
Mhm.
we are consumers of like the worst media all the time because we're just like, I guess it comes from a place of optimism. Like we want the world to be good, but like we constantly see the things that disappoint us and let us down. And so that's kind of like the driving force of why we post, right?
I would say it's like a bunch of like online and offline comedians, you
Yeah.
know, and also like I guess I would say underground because like the best of the best, honestly, in my opinion, you guys are hilarious and like with everything you say, and I would be a part of shit posting online, on Facebook and Twitter if I didn't have like business people and family so attached to my Facebook and Twitter. So
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
I used to be and say whatever whenever I wanted to, but it's gotten to the point where it's like on Twitter, whenever I even like certain things, I've had like business associates unfriend me because now on
Oh,
Twitter it
damn.
pops up that you like some things.
Yeah, totally.
So I had to like even like disassociate myself from
Yeah,
liking
tame it
things on
down.
Twitter, and then on Facebook really like have a lot of like my wife's family following me, and I guess my relatives too, and other people from past lives. So it's like I can't really do that either. So it's like I used to though, and I miss those days. But so I've been really holding back a lot because I just want to see the most ridiculous stuff all the time. I should probably just create like an alternate
Yeah, I was
profile,
about to
just like
say,
and
yeah.
just invite my only like meme homies and
Or
and
just really go hard on your pages. You got a lot of pages, just like
I do,
maybe
but like
just text
there's
posts on a lot of those.
the bad thing about like Facebook is like they hide pages. You get the
Oh,
most
yeah.
visibility from your own profile. So I
Yeah.
could become like the next Matt Wire, I think, if I wanted to. You just say whatever and on your own personal profile and get blown up, and which has happened many times before prior. Which I'm sure you too. You have very popular statuses that get shared like thousands of
Mm,
views before. This happened to
no.
me a lot of times. Happens to the best of us.
I
Uh,
will I
but
will rebut that because there was a time I'll send a shout out to the homie Steely Dan because I think Steely Dan was one of the people that R.I.P. Steely Dan for the record. Like Steely Dan is not a profile anymore. I think it got zucked. But when I saw somebody having a private profile that was really popular, getting shared and all that, I thought, okay, this is interesting way to shitpost. I regret that. I don't want to do that anymore. Like it didn't work for me, but it's also because
mm,
I've never been able to like successfully manage having like an alt account and all that shit. I know most of these people, like shout out to Mike Fellows and several other
yeah.
people in that gang that have just like so many social accounts. Like I can't do that. Like I can't separate. Like I am who I am, and I fall in with a lot of these people because I'm like, the shit that you write is so fucking hilarious, fascinating, and for me, like for people that have watched the Chi O'Neill show, then y'all probably know, like I've tried to get to know people from all this, like because I kind of see what's underlying all of it, like what is it about you that's able to create this shit that's like viral, like what did you do? Like, what is your thought process that creates viral content, like,
I don't know, man. I think it's God, I can't describe it. For me, with success, whether it like be meme pages or like your own personal profile, is pretty much just saying just like off the wall comedic stuff or different takes on things. And I guess you never know who's going to see it or who's going to share it. But I think if you're friends with like minded people, it doesn't hurt. That definitely like it helps your shareability or likability. So I think that's a good starting ground.
well, I don't like the whole, like, I think it does make sense to use like a personal Facebook profile as like a posting platform, but I feel like you
Yeah.
basically had to be in it from the very beginning of that profile. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's how I
when
feel about
when you
Twitter. You got to be in it early, or Instagram, or any, TikTok. You got to get it in it early to get all those followers and like get a following. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think yeah, it is. It's funny. It almost comes down to the same kind of stuff you could say just about branding in general, right? Like it just has to be like the algorithms are fucking so hardcore, you know, like if you
Yeah.
start an account for one thing and you try to deviate, like they just punish you so hard. Like you can't just say you got all this clout for one reason and oh now I'm going to use it for this reason. They're like nah. Like none of your fans
Yeah.
are going to like this. We're not going to show it to them, you know? Like
Right.
it's
You
like
can't.
pre as assumed about the audience. They don't even give you a chance, you know? Like
You especially can't share links to any other website on any platform because they don't
no.
want you to go to a different website. So, you're just stuck promoting things within that site or not saying or not having any other like links, like
Yeah.
no links.
Well,
No,
that's
no mentions, no ats on anything.
no,
It's
no.
just got to be a
Exactly.
sentence, that's
I
it.
would say it's been pretty useful if you can make a good post, like whether it be a good text post or a good image, and then hide shit in the comments. That
Yes,
often
I
does
do
work
that too.
out.
That
And
works out too. Yeah.
sometimes surprisingly the links do work, and I don't know why. Like I just shared one like off the cuff because my sister-in-law Lauren decided she needed to remind me that McRibs were back, which they've been back for like a couple weeks now. So I just thought
Okay.
like, why is she telling me this right now? But it made me remember that I did that mixtape and I had the song McRib, so I was like, oh, I'll share this out, and the link did surprisingly well, and I don't know
Wow.
why. Like why do they nerf some links and not others? Like I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's because it said McRib they have like a contract with McDonald's. It's like, yeah, we're cool with McDonald's, so link that shit,
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, that's
right?
literally probably it.
You got past the algorithm somehow. If you find out they're business partners, just put that in the title. Be like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Doing
Enron.
things Adderall. All right, man. Well, I probably should wrap it up
Yeah,
just because I
man,
gotta
that's
put
cool.
the baby to bed here in about 10 minutes.
Thank you so much for hanging out, bro. Thanks for setting all this up, dude. It looks great on Facebook. It looks great on YouTube.
Nice.
Looks great on camera. Man, you're the main man. You're the main.
Well,
So
now that I'm back in my studio, I have a lot more mental bandwidth to do this. So let's try to keep this going on Sundays and
yeah, man.
bring the other homies in as we can, or
Yeah,
other
that'd be great,
homies
man.
that you have that I don't know. Like if they want to
Sure,
join, just like
sure.
give me a good 4 or 5 hour lead time, and all this is very
Okay,
customizable, and we can just keep
okay.
doing it this way.
Yeah, man. Let me know how many peeps you're thinking of having on next time, man. I'll try to meet that requirement.
Let's just like plan on me and you, but if we could
Mhm.
bring like up to 2 more people, whether it be
Sure.
John or Jason or anybody else, like up to
Yeah,
four
yeah.
people is like we can make that happen real fast.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is great, man. Thanks again for everything, man. So,
Yeah, thank you,
wrapping
Jason.
up, everyone catch Phil here. He has a Chill Neil happening. He has the Suck podcast, SUCC. Check that out. It's on Spotify as well. Is that true?
Yeah, all the podcasts that I do are on Spotify, Apple, Google, all those places you could
How
get
many you got
podcasts.
going on? Yeah, you got a good bit, right?
I
You
got
got the
the
Chill Neil
Suck
podcast, the Suck podcast.
and the Suck podcast. Yeah, and the Chill Neil is really just ramping up. Like I've been importing some of these Famera interviews that we've done over to there. So next week I'm actually going to be ramping up to 2 episodes
Oh,
per week. Thanks to you, we have this amazing interview I did with Antonia Brano, which is just a fascinating conversation, an hour long of just almost like a meditation of a conversation. I
cool.
really enjoyed listening to it. And then after that, the next day, we're going to start rolling out all the Late Night with Chill Nil video shows as an audio podcast. So they've been re-edited or remastered for the audio purpose. So
Very cool.
if nobody ever saw the show before, don't worry, you don't need to. If you did see the show before, well, this is going to be a different experience. It's been tailored to an audio experience. So, like, it's been edited so if there's highly visual things, they've been
Hmm.
cut out, and the audio's all been leveled, EQ'd, mastered for, a podcast experience. So I think people are going to enjoy it if they didn't get it the first time, or if they did, there's something there for both of these audiences.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I've recorded like every single Family podcast or whatever so far. So it's like, it would be easier just to be audio only. I could edit it and sync it up with video, but I have like one or two conversations that I've had with people who are like, yeah, can we cut out like this one part of this conversation? And I'm like, all right, yeah, I can do that, but I have to like listen to everything, both video and audio wise, and edit them separately and try to sync them together. It's a lot of work. It's like it'd be easier if we can just do like an audio thing for the things
Yes.
I did too, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe there'll be a future podcast in my future. So we'll
Nice. Let
see.
me know how I can help. I can help that. I can help make
That'd be
that happen.
fantastic.
It's
Yeah,
not hard.
absolutely.
It's if you got all those recordings, it's not hard, man. We can make this
Yeah.
happen in like
I
a
think
matter
by
of
now there's got
days.
to be at least like 10 or like 15,
Holy shit.
already. We've been stacking them. It's been a fast month.
All right, well, hit me
So
when we wrap. Hit me up in the chat, and let's get that process started because we can do
sounds
that
good,
like
man.
no problem.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Well, thanks again, Phil, for doing everything, for setting everything up, dude. You're the man. And
Thank you,
thank you
Jason.
all those for watching, man. 1 through 4 people tonight, 4 homies, what's up? And those who talked in the chat, what's up? Chad and uh, Chad 90 MFC, shout out to you, and also shout out to Aggressively Relaxing in the chat. That dude makes a lot of funny like prank phone call parodies.
Yeah, yeah.
He's really, and with a comic theme to them, so he's very clever and funny as well. He's probably one of the funnier people I know on YouTube in the comic universe. He's
Nice.
done a lot of really really great things with that. He's called like how you get like there's this business prank calls, not prank calls, but it's
Yeah.
like they're like, yeah, you got to call this about insurance, whatever, and like, you call back, and then he goes like, yeah, have you heard the story about Spider-Man and this new issue about like this happening, and he just goes on a huge rant, and they're answering him and like, yeah, I don't know, and he just plays and messes around with them. It's great. And tells the story of a comic pretty much in a prank call form. So yeah,
Oh,
very very interesting
that'd be a good way for
person.
me to catch up on a lot of comics I've missed. I'm not gonna lie. Just
It's
prank
like
call
Jerky
me.
Boy style. Yeah, Jerky Boy style reviews of comics is fantastic. But shout out Aggressively Relaxing, man. Love to see you in the chat, man. So yeah, so thank everyone once again last time. Thank you all, and we'll see you later.
All right, homies. Peace out. I mean, I will
Peace.
send it to the credits just because we already have them.